To breaking news, we can now show you the moment a gang of machete-wielding thugs attacked two innocent men.
You got there, aren't you?
Britain's streets once again told a story the government refuses to face. Machete gangs terrorizing neighborhoods while authority retreats in real time. This raw footage of fear, fire, and lawlessness is spreading faster than officials can spin it. The question is, who's being protected while the rest are left exposed? By the time anyone admitted control was slipping, it was already gone. Fireworks weren't a celebration. They were weapons, fired straight into the police's faces. Officers weren't advancing. They were backing away. Between 8:05 and 9:05 that night, the British state didn't look overwhelmed. It looked missing. Ten people were allegedly stabbed in a single night, and while blood was still on the pavement, officials were arguing over wording, girl or young woman. That argument landed like an insult, because when people are scared for their lives, semantics feel like betrayal. And let me tell you, it wasn't a bad night. It was the release of pressure that's been building for years. What happened felt less like a riot and more like a public verdict. People were angry at a system that keeps telling them everything is fine while their streets say otherwise.
Have you been attacked?
I've been punched. When I was attacked, it was literally asking somebody, can you stand to one side so we can have a conversation about your uniform? And the next thing I was punched in the back of the head.
The numbers are why this anger is so raw. 53,000 knife attacks in a single year. That's one every 10 minutes. Not per day, but every 10 minutes. Machete attacks have surged more than 300% since 2000. Teenage knife homicides are up 240% since 2015. This is accelerating, and it's reaching places that were supposed to be safe. Over 150 knife incidents inside schools. Teachers confiscating cleavers and machetes from children. Parents are sending their kids to class and hoping they come home intact.
Knives that we're seeing people use is kitchen knives as well, which are always going to be accessible. Me personally, I think education is the main thing.
Public trust has collapsed by 28%. That matters more than any cherry-picked statistic from a press conference. When people stop trusting the system, they stop believing the rules protect them. And once that belief dies, compliance dies with it. You can't govern a country on reassurance alone.
A lot stricter, zero tolerance with knives on the streets, absolutely zero tolerance. Prison sentence, rehabilitation, and education in school.
Hospitals see the truth before politicians do. Trauma surgeons are now treating injuries that look like battlefield damage. Severed limbs, deep abdominal wounds, permanent nerve destruction, injuries that change lives forever. The NHS is absorbing the cost of a street war the government refuses to name. Officials talk percentages, doctors talk survival. Those are two different worlds, and the public knows which one they're living in. That night, the protests didn't stay protests. They turned into takeovers. Demands gave way to control. Streets became territory. Glass bottles flew at mounted police. Fireworks exploded at head height. Officers were told to hold the line, then quietly told to retreat. 78 people ended up hospitalized. Police vans were surrounded and destroyed. Barricades went up around migration centers like emergency bunkers. 7 hotels burned, and nobody could give a straight answer as to why. The images didn't look political. They looked like a state losing its grip. And then came the labels. The term far-right is a convenient way to avoid the more complex question, because on the ground, people weren't chanting ideology. They were shouting that they no longer feel safe, that they're tired of being told to stay calm while violence keeps escalating. When the response to fear is dismissal, anger fills the gap. At the center of this collapse is the prison system. SDS 40 sounds technical, but its impact is brutal. Serve 40% of your sentence and walk free. In a single year, 40,000 convicts were released while prisons operated at over 99% capacity. The signal to criminals couldn't be clearer. Punishment is temporary. Consequences are flexible. Time inside is a pause, not a deterrent.
4 individuals got out of that car that night. They stabbed him 6 times, and it was a 39-second attack from pulling into the car park to pulling out in their stolen car.
Victims feel this immediately. They see their attackers back on the same streets within months, sometimes weeks. That does something to the soul. It tells people their suffering was procedural, not meaningful. Police feel it too. Officers risk their lives to arrest violent offenders, only to watch them released by a spreadsheet decision in Whitehall. Morale collapses. Enforcement slows. Criminals notice. When sentences feel optional, crime stops being scary. It becomes strategic. Then there's the inversion nobody wants to explain. British offenders are released early because there's no space. At the same time, thousands of foreign nationals remain in prison, housed and fed at public expense. Deportation would free cells overnight. It's dismissed anyway, so dangerous people are released back into neighborhoods, and the government calls it necessity. The public calls it surrender.
Hayes ban is the first step in the government's plan to halve knife crime over the next decade. It's a problem that's getting worse. Teenagers in England and Wales are now twice as likely to be fatally stabbed as they were 10 years ago.
Weapon bans add insult to injury. Zombie knives are banned, and gangs buy them out before the law even starts. Overnight, the same blades reappear under new names: katanas, ninja swords. The black market adapts instantly. Meanwhile, women are still banned from carrying pepper spray. Children get kindness lessons. Gangs get loopholes. The contrast is impossible to ignore. Let's talk prisons. Or more accurately, let's talk about who doesn't stay in them. Britain's prisons are full. We're told there's no space. Cells bursting. Guards overwhelmed. Total emergency. So what's the solution? Release British offenders early. Let them back onto the streets. Meanwhile, more than 10,000 foreign nationals remain comfortably inside the system. Fed, housed, guarded, no rush there. Apparently, deportation paperwork is harder than opening the gates.
Anyone caught with a banned knife could face jail time as the amnesty ends and abolition begins.
So you get this bizarre policy inversion. The dangerous guy from down the road is back in your neighborhood because there's no room. The dangerous guy from another country stays inside because it's administratively inconvenient. Protect the system first, citizens later. And when people point this out, they're told they're being unreasonable. Nigel Farage suggests something painfully simple. Deport the foreign criminals. Free up thousands of cells overnight. Save money. And actually lock up the machete gangs terrorizing cities. The response? Absolute horror. As if he suggested gravity be cancelled. This is where the image of the tough prosecutor completely collapses. Starmer built his brand on law and order. Serious man, serious briefcase, serious stare. And yet here we are, watching prisoners walk free because spreadsheets say so. The black market thrives. Online platforms somehow remain untouched. And through all of this, women are still banned from carrying pepper spray. That's not a joke. You can't carry a defensive spray, but the guy approaching you might be holding something that looks like it belongs in a medieval museum. Fair fight, apparently.
There's definitely a lot of teenagers that I think are getting involved with this stuff, and I think people are struggling to talk about it as well.
Why is that?
I think they know that it's not a good thing to be doing, but they're carrying knives because it makes them feel safe.
Schools are dealing with this reality daily. Knives are being seized from classrooms, cleavers in backpacks. And the government response? Kindness lessons. Because When a teenager brings a machete to school, what he really needs is a worksheet about empathy. It's not detached from reality. It's living on another planet. Then there's the silence. Not the quiet kind. The curated kind. Police officers privately admit they're terrified of saying the wrong thing. One wrong adjective and your career's over. So transparency loses. Narrative management wins. The result is predictable. When facts disappear, speculation takes over. Rumors spread faster than official statements. Trust evaporates. People don't feel informed. They feel managed. And when the state pulls back, the streets don't stay empty, but they adapt. Security guards now wear stab vests as standard uniform, not special units. Shopkeepers close before sunset because it's safer to lose money than teeth. Investors quietly move capital out of London because no one wants to explain to staff why commuting feels like a gamble. Parents are buying bulletproof backpack inserts for children. Let that sit for a second. This isn't a war zone. This is Britain, or at least it used to be. Communities are forming unofficial patrols, WhatsApp groups, encrypted chats. People are looking out for their own streets because they don't believe anyone else will. It's not unity, it's fragmentation, postcode by postcode, a slow urban balkanization nobody wants to name.
But it doesn't shoot bullets. It can't kill anybody. It just hurts a lot.
And then we hit the self-defense flashpoint. Farage proposes legalizing pepper spray, introducing a castle doctrine, and deporting violent offenders. The response from the public is instant. 2.3 million comments in 3 hours. Not because everyone loves Farage, but because people are desperate. They want the right to protect themselves. In the US, if someone breaks into your home, you can defend it. In Britain, defend yourself the wrong way, and you might meet the judge before the criminal does. So women turn to illegal sprays. Neighborhoods coordinate quietly. Vigilantism doesn't arrive as an ideology. It arrives as fear, as survival.